The great part about government institutions is that they know that people are very hard to manipulate. And I just want to point this out because, you know, honestly, I'm seeing something here, and I think you guys will agree with me. See, automatically, if you put fish on the side of a building, of any type of thing, it could be a nuclear power plant, then that automatically means it's environmentally friendly. So yeah, cool, man. Pictures of fish is enough. Train the muscles, not the joints. So welcome back to Natural Gallant Bodybuilding, and I'm just finishing up a workout here at the gym. I just finished doing a little bit of legs. A little bit of bench presses there, dumbbell presses. A little bit of flies. Some triceps and some preacher curls. Mountain, mountain, mountain. So I left out some back training and I left out some shoulder training, but I'll get to that at some point. You know, sometimes I do whole body workouts, sometimes I'll piecemeal things together, and I'm just getting back into my groove now after taking that 2 weeks off. So I'm starting to get my squat groove back. It's not quite there yet, but it's starting to come back. So yeah, that must be a relief to you because, hey, I know you guys care about what's going on in my life, especially in the gym, because your happiness depends on it. Well, maybe it doesn't, but I like to think it does. So today I got a pretty cool question asked in the comments. This cool dude actually asked me a question, and he said, how does he build muscle tone in his legs? How does he build legs? But more specifically, the medialis muscle, which is close to the knee. So that's a quadricep that's close to the knee. Now, first of all, I'm gonna answer this question generally. How do you build muscle tone in the legs? Well, it's always the same answer. You gain in strength, and then you do time under tension with high repetitions as well for hypertrophy workouts. That combination really works. Try different variations. Don't just stick to the squat. Don't just stick to the leg press. Start doing one-legged movements as well, because you will find that different muscles get accentuated. And sometimes when those muscles get stimulated, you start putting on some extra muscle that you never would have had, because the balance muscles in the leg do play a major role. So when you're doing one-legged squats or step-ups, say you're stepping up and you're keeping that tension on the front leg, you know, you're not basically keeping the tension on the back leg, then the front leg, then the back leg, but you're keeping that tension on the front leg, up and down, right? The tension stays on that leg. You will notice that you will get an unbelievable burn in different muscle groups that you didn't get when it comes down to squats. So it's important for you to vary things up, try different exercises, because each body type is going to benefit from different exercises based on how you're built and, you know, this individuality thing that I keep talking about. And next, watch your diet. The diet is the most important thing when it comes down to muscle tone, as far as what people know as not necessarily muscle tone, but the appearance of muscle tone. Basically leanness, right? Striations and cuts in certain area. The major cause of this is your diet. If your diet is not on point, if you're eating way too much carbs, way too much fats in comparison to protein, you're gonna notice that your body is gonna look a little bit maybe not as lean, not as, well, maybe it'll look like a baby's leg, you know what I mean? It's gonna look like there's no lines going on anywhere. That's because you had the fat that's filling in those crevices. That's kind of normal during the bulk up season, or when some bodybuilders bulk up, they kind of look a little bit more chubby at that time. And then when they cut, then guess what? All they really do is change their diet, and then they look leaner, they look more muscle tone. It doesn't mean that there is more muscle tone. The tone was already there, but it was obscured by body fat. The next thing I'm gonna say when it comes down to building the medialis muscle, and this is gonna be different for each individual person because it's gonna be based on how you're built. So for instance, When I high bar squat, my knees come forward way over my toes if I stay straight up and down. It's just the way I'm built. Like my femurs are really long in comparison to my tibia and so forth. You might have a different sort of body type issue there, but the main thing to concentrate on if you want to really focus on that medialis is the knee. When the knee bends in a movement and that tension stays on the actual quadricep, you're gonna notice that's where you're gonna get the results. If you start using a lot of the hips to extend like I do in squats, you're not gonna necessarily get as much medialis development, but you're gonna get a lot more hamstring development, a lot more glute development, and maybe the quadriceps sweep development, because sometimes that IT band and the vastus lateralis also help support that hip extension as well as the extension of the knee at the same time. But the way I squat, I use my knees as an assister in the movement, but the main movement is around the flexion and the extension of the trunk. That's what I find is the most natural, and it feels like it keeps the stress off my knees, and I find that I can lift the most amount of weight, just like powerlifters do, and at the same time keep the tension on the areas of my body that keeps the tension off my actual knee joints. Now you might be different, some guys are built differently, and high bar squats or front squats will be the best possible thing for you to keep that tension on the quadricep. So if you're having trouble getting that medialis and you don't have any knee problems, don't have any knee issues, okay? If you have knee issues, don't do this. But if you don't have any knee issues, try either coming down lower in your squat, and you're gonna notice that your medialis hits failure faster under most circumstances, or focus on doing high bar squats or front bar squats, and you'll notice that when you're squatting the front, because you're forced to stay more straight up and down, your quadriceps are going to come forward and back, and you're going to hit that medialis a lot more effectively than, say, doing a back squat where there's a lot of hip extension involved, right? So these are a couple ways you could hit that medialis, but remember, always pay attention to the diet, and first and foremost, pay attention to your body. Don't ever do a movement to isolate, even if it feels like it's grinding your joints to dust. You definitely don't want to try the movement that way. But yeah, for medialis, anything that causes the knee to travel a little bit more over the toe and that tension stays on that quadricep, on the medialis, you actually feel it there, that's going to hit the medialis, and low squats or front squats are great for that as well. Now there's a couple obvious alternatives that I have left out that are still valid. One is obviously the leg extension. Leg extensions are also great for hitting that medialis. I don't like to do leg extensions that much. I find they irritate my knees because there's no hamstring activation, yada, yada, yada. Talked about this lots of times, but some people like them and some people, they work great and they swear by leg extensions. So leg extensions are a way to hit that medialis. And another exercise that is great for hitting that medialis in a lot of circumstances is hack squats. They're a lot like front bar squats in a way that they force you to stay more straight up and down. And the way the forces work out on the knee joint and on the muscles around the knee do stimulate a lot of the quadricep and the medialis for a lot of people. So you might be one of these people, so hack squats are worth a try. And if you find they don't irritate your knees, then go nuts with them. I'd say try them out. It's a nice trail around Harrison here, just around the other side of the lake. So sometimes we go for walks around here, and yeah, there's a nice little sulfur area there, and yeah, good view of the lake here, as you can see. Todd Richard referred to this as underwear trail because everywhere we go, we were finding underwear. So there's 3 different spots we found underwear, or 2 actually, but then we think the shack over here probably also has underwear in it as well. So I'm thinking a lot of stuff goes on in Harrison that, well, let's just say it's a romantic getaway. Yeah, I guess it's a romantic getaway for some people. So I hope this helps you out with your training. Thanks a lot for watching. If you need to get a hold of me, just go to naturallandbodybuilding.com, and thanks a lot to the Patreon supporters, and take care for now. Oh yeah, and share my stuff. Nobody else is going to do it. If you don't do it, nobody else is going to do it. Gallant!